Hey there, it's Anna. Believe it or not, 99% of men often miss these subtle yet significant sexual hints that women drop in conversation. Today, we're going to change that. We will delve into those nuanced hints and signals that women use, which often fly under the radar in everyday chat. So by the end of this video, you will be among the 1% who can pick up on these sexual cues, giving you a unique insight into what she's really trying to say. Let's dive in. Purposeful misinterpretation. Deliberately misinterpreting your words to give them a sexual connotation is a flirtatious tactic. By doing this, she's not only bringing a sexual tone to the conversation, but also testing your reaction to such shifts. For instance, you might say something innocent and she turns it into an innuendo. This playful manipulation of words can create a flirty and sexually charged dialogue, but it requires a certain level of attentiveness and wit to catch and understand these moments, which is why they often go unnoticed. Direct questions about your preferences. When a woman directly asks about your preferences in a partner, especially focusing on physical or sensual aspects, it can be a clear indicator of her interest in you. These questions might include inquiries about what you find attractive in someone, your favorite physical features, or what you enjoy in a romantic relationship. Now, while these questions can seem pretty straightforward, they are often laced with subtext, suggesting her interest in knowing whether she fits your preferences. However, men might interpret these questions as just casual conversation, completely missing the hint of the sexual connotation. Playful challenges. Statements that present a challenge can often be a woman's playful way to engage in flirtatious banter. When she says something like, "I bet you can't guess what colour my underwear is," or "I dare you to make me blush." Now, these are not just playful taunts, but often cloaked invitations for a more flirtatious or sexually charged dialogue. Men might misinterpret these as just playful or competitive conversations, completely missing the sexual undertone. Suggestive topics. A woman may intentionally steer a conversation towards more romantic or sexual topics to gauge your response and comfort level with such discussions. This can include talking about past relationships, asking your opinion on sexual matters, or discussing more intimate aspects of dating. These conversations can be laden with hints about her own desires or interests, but they are often nuanced and can be missed if not paying close attention. Hypothetical scenarios. Using hypothetical scenarios is a clever way that women can talk about their sexual preferences or their fantasies without actually being too direct. So she could ask, "What would you do if we were the last two people on Earth?" Or maybe, "What would your ideal romantic getaway look like?" These questions allow her to explore sexual or romantic ideas with you indirectly, offering insights into her mind while keeping the conversation light and hypothetical. Many men may not realize that her engagement in such topics can be a sign of her interest and a hint towards her fantasies or desires. Reoccurring themes. Women may subtly hint at their sexual interest by consistently bringing up specific romantic or sexual themes. For instance, she might repeatedly mention how she enjoys a particular romantic movie or keeps discussing topics related to physical intimacy. These recurrent themes are not random, they are intentional and designed to open a dialogue about sexuality or to gauge your interests and reactions. Now, men often miss these hints because they might not notice the pattern or understand the intention behind these reoccurring topics. Innuendos in compliments. The way a woman compliments you can also contain sexual hints. If she frequently comments on your physical strength, saying things like, "Wow, you must be strong enough to sweep a woman off her feet," or remarks on how you handle things in a suggestive way, well, these compliments can have deeper sexual implications. These kinds of statements are often overlooked by men as simple flattery, missing the flirtatious intent behind them. Interest in your relationship history. Now, when a woman shows a keen interest in your past relationships or sexual experiences, well, it can be more than just casual curiosity. So by inquiring about your romantic past, she might be trying to understand your preferences and experiences as a way to open up about her own or to create a more intimate conversation. This interest can often be a prelude to discussing more personal and sexual topics, but men might not always catch on to this underlying motive. Casual touch references. References to physical touch in conversation can be a significant indicator of sexual interest. If she casually mentions enjoying certain types of touch, like a back rub or how she loves the feeling of certain textures against her skin, these comments can be loaded with sexual implication. However, these hints can fly under the radar as men might interpret them as general preferences or just casual remarks, rather than the intentional, suggestive hints they are meant to actually be. Alluding to fantasies. A woman might drop hints about her sexual interests by alluding to her fantasies or things that she finds exciting. For instance, she might casually mention a dream she had that was too wild to talk about, or a crazy fantasy that she's thought about. These comments are designed to pique your curiosity and encourage you to ask more, but they are often so subtly delivered that men might actually miss the invitation to delve deeper into more intimate conversations. Reaction to romantic media. Her reactions to romantic or sexual scenes in movies, TV shows, or books can be revealing. If she expresses strong opinions or shows keen interest in these scenes, it might be her way of indirectly expressing her own preferences or even her desires. For example, she might linger on discussing a steamy movie scene or a romantic plotline in a novel. However, men might not always connect her interest in these scenes to her personal sexual preferences, completely, you guessed it, missing a chance to understand her better. Clothing and appearance comments. Comments about clothing and appearance can also be laden with sexual hints. For example, she might remark that her outfit is uncomfortable or too tight, subtly drawing attention to her body. She might also make suggestive comments about how certain clothing makes her feel. These comments are often intended, you guessed it, to provoke thoughts about her physique. But men might overlook the sexual undertone and focus only on the surface level of the conversation. Playful accusations. Teasingly accusing you of being a flirt or a heartbreaker can be a flirtatious way to introduce sexual tension into the conversation. They are often made in jest, but they carry an undercurrent of attraction and interest. By framing it as teasing, she creates that safe space to explore this tension without overtly actually exposing her intentions. However, men might simply view these accusations as just playful banter, not recognizing their deeper flirtatious implications. Subtle physical descriptions. When a woman describes physical sensations or experiences with a sensually charged undertone, it can be a subtle sexual hint. For instance, she might speak about the feeling of warm water on her skin during a bath, or how she enjoys the sensation of certain fabrics against her body. Now, these descriptions are often meant to evoke a sensory response and can be laden with innuendo. However, these hints are frequently so subtle and woven into the conversation that they can be easily missed. Shared experiences. Recalling shared experiences that involved physical proximity can also be a way of hinting at sexual interest. For example, she might bring up a time when you were both at a crowded concert and highlight how close you were to each other. By focusing on the physical aspect of these shared experiences, she is subtly drawing attention to the physical connection between you. And yeah, it can be very easily overlooked, as maybe guys think, oh, she's just reminiscing about a shared experience, completely missing the underlying hint. Sensual language use. The use of words with sensual connotations in everyday conversation can be a hint of sexual interest. Words like tender, soft, or intense can create a conversation with that undercurrent of sensuality. Now, when she uses these words, especially in descriptions or personal anecdotes, it might be her way of subtly introducing sexual undertones into the dialogue. However, these linguistic nuances are often nuanced and can easily go unnoticed. Changing voice tone. A change in her voice tone, especially when it becomes lower or more sultry, can indicate sexual interest. This change often occurs during parts of the conversation that are more intimate or personal. The shift in tone can create a more intimate atmosphere and a classic way of using nonverbal cues to convey attraction. However, without careful attention, these changes in tone can be misinterpreted as just a part of normal conversation dynamics. Double entendres. Women often use double entendres, phrases with a secondary, often sexual meaning, as a subtle way to flirt or hint at their sexual interest. These can be easily missed if not attentively listened to. For example, a seemingly innocent comment about handling things well or even being good with your hands could have a suggestive undertone. Men often overlook these hints because they are wrapped in seemingly normal conversation, requiring a keen ear to detect the underlying message. Implying shared secrets. Sometimes a woman might hint at secrets or hidden aspects of her personality in a conversation. This tactic suggests a depth and intimacy that invites you to explore more of the same conversation, especially on a more personal or intimate level. For example, she might allude to having a wild side or experiences that she doesn't usually share with others. The hint of mystery and the implication of shared secrets, let's be honest, can be enticing, right? But it's often so subtly done that it's true. Intent can be overlooked. Laughing at sexual jokes. A woman's response to sexual humor can be telling. If she laughs at or encourages sexual jokes, it might indicate her comfort level with the subject and potentially her interest. This reaction can be a green light for further flirtatious or sexual banter, signaling an openness to such conversations. However, because laughter and humor are common in many interactions, this sign can be misinterpreted as simply enjoying the joke rather than as an indication of sexual interest. So now that you are among the 1% who can decode those hints, what's next? Learn the signs that you are on her mind or spot the strongest signs of sexual tension. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more secrets revealed.